Fayetteville Youth Treatment Center breaking federal rules. Good evening, I'm Jennifer Piñate.
And I'm Chad Mira. Thanks for joining us tonight after Sunday Night Football. And our top story, state records indicate the Piney Ridge Treatment Center broke federal rules at least 13 times during a 30-day period by using chemical injections to restrain children held in seclusion. Medicaid rules prohibit simultaneous restraint in seclusion. The Fayetteville facility was inspected in October after a watchdog group said staff were using physical and chemical restraints excessively. It treats patients ages 7 to 17 years old. In November, Piney Ridge sent the state a corrective action plan that included revisions to its policies, additional training for nurses, and 2 months of monitoring. Last month, KNWA spoke to a former employee on her experience at Piney Ridge Treatment Center. You can check that out on our website right now, nwahomepage.com.
Making headlines, we now know a 1.5-year-old boy is who died in a weekend house fire. It happened on Worthington Road in Gentry Saturday afternoon. Authorities are not releasing the child's name. Gentry's fire chief says those who live at the home were outside when the fire started and the boy ran inside to save a pet. The Benton County Sheriff's Office and Benton County Fire Marshal are in charge of investigating the cause of the fire. Stay with us as we get more information.
In case you missed it, lightning caused a Rogers building to catch fire. Rogers Fire Chief Tom Jenkins says crews arrived to the Pinnacle Heights development project early Saturday morning, and this is what they saw. Part of the building in flames. Jenkins says crews were able to contain the 3-alarm fire just to the top floor of the building. No one was hurt. The $100 million project is located along South Champions Drive. It'll include shops, restaurants, and hundreds of apartments.
Happening today, the Northwest Arkansas Equality celebrated World AIDS Day with its annual drag brunch. The organization is offering free HIV testing in honor of the day. Jesse Pierre spoke to supporters at the event.
I came to Northwest Arkansas back in 1985, and that's when AIDS had started really hitting across the country, and I started understanding about the AIDS crisis.
Carol Christoffel is one of 130 guests at the annual World AIDS Day brunch. She says she became passionate about ending the HIV/AIDS epidemic after losing loved ones to the virus.
Seeing firsthand people that I knew dying from AIDS, children dying from AIDS, and so it's always been very close to my heart.
According to the CDC, in 2015, 258 adults and adolescents were diagnosed with HIV in Arkansas. Reginald Moore with Our Care says with the right medication, people can live a long time with the virus.
It is not a death sentence anymore. It is it's just a virus that lives within the body that can be controlled.
And he is urging people to get tested at least once a year.
I don't care if you are a child, if you are an adult, if you're an elderly person. People need to be tested. Everybody needs to know what their status is.
Starting Monday, Northwest Arkansas Equality is expanding its hours and offering free HIV testing through Thursday.
It's just a quick finger prick, and then you're in. It's probably about 2 minutes to wait, and then you know your results right then and there.
World AIDS Day was first recognized in 1988 and is the first ever global health day. Many of the guests have a red ribbon just like this pinned to their shirt in support of those living with HIV and AIDS and to remember those who have passed away.
There's been a lot of work that's been done with AIDS where people are living with AIDS today versus dying with AIDS.
More than $5,000 was raised at the brunch, which will support the testing and education efforts of NWA Equality. KNWA Northwest Arkansas News, I'm Jesse Pierre.
In more local news, a blood bank needing your donation.
The Community Blood Center of the Ozarks, also known as CBCO, reports it's low on type A positive, type O negative, and type B negative blood products. CBCO is the exclusive provider to patients at over 40 area hospitals. You can head to our website, nwahomepage.com right now. You can find out where you can roll up your sleeve and donate blood this week.
New national health care laws are set to go into effect in 2021, intended to increase cost transparency. KNWA's Andrew Epperson in studio with how a local hospital is responding to the change.
The Trump administration announces 2 rules to increase price transparency for hospitals and insurers. They require health systems to make their standard fees available on demand and online, and require health plans to inform beneficiaries and enrollees about price and cost sharing information. Hospitals are reacting to new rules announced by the Trump administration that would require hospitals to share information about privately negotiated rates between commercial health insurance companies.
We're all about choice and competition and putting patients at the center of healthcare.
Joe Grogan is the director of the Domestic Policy Council and an assistant to President Trump. The administration hopes these rules would boost competition among hospitals and insurers to drive down health care spending. Hospitals are preparing to fight the transparency rules in court, saying the disclosure of negotiated prices will increase health care costs. A joint statement from 4 major hospital associations condemned the rules and will join with member hospitals to file a legal challenge. It says in part, the rule will introduce widespread confusion, accelerate anti-competitive behavior among health insurers, and stymie innovations in value-based care delivery. In a statement sent to KNWA, the Washington Regional Medical Center says it supports the joint statement issued by the American Hospital Association, Association of American Medical Colleges, the Children's Hospital Association, and the Federation of American Hospitals. You can see the full statement from the 4 major hospital associations on our website. In studio, Andrew Epperson, KNWA Northwest Arkansas News.
New at 10 tonight, the Fayetteville home of a prominent lawyer, judge, and politician of the 1800s opens its doors to the public for a holiday open house. Every year, the Washington County Historical Society invites people inside the home of Jonas Tebbets. Jim Spillers, the president of the organization, says it's a way to teach history and get into the holiday spirit.
I really would like to encourage folks to get to know what went on here before and to continue to honor people that came before us and made possible what we have today.
If you missed the open house, you can still check out the museum off East Dixon Street on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays from 1 to 4 p.m. A teenager diagnosed with a serious disease at a young age is now giving back to the hospital that helped him.
We'll introduce you to the young man who's trying to cheer up local kids. But first, a look at your weather. Dan, how is our work week shaping up so far?
2 words, warming trend. That sounds good, especially after today where it was a bit on the chilly side. We'll show you how warm those temperatures get and also our next chance of precipitation. That's in the forecast coming up after the break.
You're watching KNWA News at 10 with Jennifer Pignate, Chad Mira, Chief Meteorologist Dan Scoff, and your Pig Trail Nation report with Drew Ammon. Closed captioning is sponsored by Air Control.
Monday morning on KNWA Today, the top local headlines you need to start your day.
Plus, we've got everything you need to know about Cyber Monday.
And a slow warming trend on the way for next week. You're going to like the temperatures. We'll show you that, plus your morning traffic. See you Monday morning.
Avoiding the stigma of suicide and finding support. Monday on KNWA News at 10.
Hey, Rebel, ready to swivel and save 15% on a row?
If you love swivel chairs, hurry to Lighting Emporium. You will save 15% on your favorite Row swivel chair. Buy in stock or special order a swivel chair your way. Hurry in. The really good swivels go fast. Right, Rebel?
Bark for Mama. Rebel, please bark, Rebel. Come on.
NWA Security Shutters offers ZipTech screens from Alutech United. Insect, solar, and security screens. A perfect holiday gift for the one who has everything. Screens controlled with the touch of a button. Call NWA Security Shutters today.
Joe here with Sam's Furniture.
Hey, Joe, you shoot a commercial?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm Dean Kane. Sam's Furniture's 170,000 square feet gives the largest selection in Arkansas. There's over 4 million of in-stock inventory, so you can enjoy same-day delivery. And every item is tagged with Sam's everyday guaranteed lowest price, so customers get an honest, easy, and fun shopping experience.
Okay, that was my commercial, but that was really great. That was really great. You should look into acting. Arkansas's largest furniture destination. Get it at Sam's.
Why does Cadell Rentals fight for you? Because car wrecks can change lives forever. And when insurance companies blame the victim, justice and fair compensation seem out of reach. After a serious accident, mounting medical bills and battling insurance companies makes life harder than it should be. If you're hurt in a car wreck, call Cadell Rentals because you need justice today. That's why we fight.
Call Cadell Reynolds at 800-671-4100 today.
Blackout savings held over only at FFO Home. Power recliner just $348. Rustic Barn Door TV Center, only $4.98.
And you can take it home today. Get the lowest prices every day at FFO Home.
Now, your Weather Authority forecast with Chief Meteorologist Dan Scott.
Well, for those of you that don't love the beard and you're like, it's December 1st, No Shave November is over. We are shaving that tomorrow. We're going to the cave, and we'll have more, of course, on the newscast in the coming days. But time lapse here from Allen Elementary showing a beautiful sunset this evening. And boy, was it gorgeous, but it did not last very long. However, some of you loyal viewers got some great photos. Pamela, check out that sunset from Saturday night. I was driving home from Branson with the family, could see the high clouds rolling in too. It was gorgeous. And then tonight the sky was on fire, but it didn't last long. But of course, Penny Stevens was out there snapping photos, and our dedicated storm spotter Zachary Hall in the River Valley catching the sunset as well. Make sure you follow him on Twitter. That guy is all over it like a fly on stick paper with the weather. You can imagine everything. So temperatures out of the northwest with those winds were in the 30s, and the wind chills were in the 20s. We had winds right now sustained at 20 miles an hour, but we had gusts up to 30 plus earlier this afternoon. And at times, if you were in your house, it sounded like a jet engine outside with those winds. And those winds did not lighten up. They lightened up some, but they didn't go calm overnight tonight. And that's going to remain the case throughout the morning tomorrow. So yeah, a little bit of a rude awakening after a long extended week with Thanksgiving off for the kiddos. It's back to the bus stop tomorrow. Bundle up. Now, those wind gusts across the rest of the area, not as strong as parts in Springfield and Wichita with gusts in the 40-mile-per-hour plus range. Current temperatures, we're in the mid-30s at 11 o'clock, and it's in the lower 40s in Fort Smith. But you factor in that wind out of the northwest, and it feels more like the 20s. And it feels every bit like that if you don't have a thick coat protecting you from the wind. Speaking of the wind, it was all because of this giant windstorm that was to our northwest, or northeast, should I say, bringing the northwesterly winds. Now, we zoom out on the bigger picture. One thing you'll notice, look at how quiet the nation's midsection is. We're in between storms. We will be for the next 3 days. You're going to love that. You'll also notice this occluded front. See that purple line on the screen? That is where the cold front catches up with the warm front and it becomes an occlusion, and look at all the snow in the northeast. But our next weather system is on the radar. We can see it off to our west. Of course, the radar not around here. It's way too far away for that. But on the satellite, you'll see that storm system approaching the west coast of the United States. That brings rain for Wednesday night into Thursday, or should I say Thursday night into Friday. We still have a nice Wednesday as well. Mid-40s on Monday afternoon, mid-50s on Tuesday afternoon. Here's the future track overnight tonight. We're going to hover right around, basically the upper 30s to lower 40s thanks to that cloud cover. During the afternoon, we'll be in the mid-40s, and then on Tuesday morning, we're going to hover right around the upper 20s to lower 30s, and Tuesday afternoon, we're going to be in the mid-50s. So we've got some nice weather. Here's the way it looks tonight. A little bit of cloud cover here and there, but it'll start clearing out. Temperatures will fall off into the upper 20s to lower 30s, and during the afternoon tomorrow, mid to upper 40s, sunny and warmer. Sunset will be at 5:02, and yeah, we can enjoy that, especially since we didn't have much sunshine at all. Temperatures tomorrow looking pretty nice, mid-40s. Tuesday, we're in the mid-50s. Wednesday, we're in the upper 50s. See that trend, Jennifer and Chad? We're climbing. And then as we move into Thursday, we do have that chance of rain and thunderstorms Thursday night and into Friday. And Saturday over the weekend, 50s. I mean, that's not too shabby. That's a little bit above where we should be.
Going the right direction this time, finally.
And for December,
yeah,
I'm shocked.
It does look like the first couple of weeks in December are going to be above where we should be. But it also looks like maybe close to Christmas, another storm system could be on the way. So we'll watch that. It's something to watch.
That's a ways out.
Yes, let's enjoy these temps while they last.
Exactly.
I like that. All right. Thanks, Dan.
You're welcome.
Coming up in your Pig Trail Nation report.
The team discussing the future of the program and the quarterback situation. That's coming up next.
Make your home merry and bright this Christmas. Enter our Home for the Holidays contest. House payments or rent paid for a year. Find the link under our contest tab on NWA homepage. Home for the Holidays sponsored locally by NWA Security Shutters, 7-Up, and United Built Homes.
Watch the Pig Trail Show. Sundays at 5:30 on KNWA.
Visit Acura Fayetteville for attractive offers on the RDX.
And now for the fun stuff. The accuracy isn't a performance event. Hurry in.
Brock here in our new 50,000 square foot Sam's Furniture Clearance Center. If you're looking for low prices on quality furniture, you gotta check this place out. Sofas starting at $294. 5-piece dining sets, only $188. All wood 7-piece bedroom sets from $799. Even brand name queen pillow top mattress sets starting at just $299. It's our Sam's Furniture Clearance Center just next door to the Superstore in Springdale, Arkansas's largest furniture destination. Get it at Sam's.
We really feel like we got a lot of value out of this home. We just felt like this is a builder that cared about the little things that make a big difference. We were just looking for a quality, well-built home, and we felt we got that and more.
If you are in over your head with more than $10,000 in credit card debt, we might just be able to help you. Regardless of the reason, credit card debt can be oppressive and affect all areas of your life. We understand that life happens and sometimes a credit card is the only way out. But when it becomes too big to handle by yourself, that's when it's time to call us at the Lincoln Group. If you have more than $10,000 in credit card debt and you are in that vicious cycle of one day late, they charge you a late fee. Miss a payment and they double your interest rate. It's just not fair, and we get it. This is not bankruptcy or just a simple rate reduction plan. We fight for you using our experience and industry connections and the insider programs the credit card companies try to hide. If you owe at least $10,000 to the credit card companies, you owe it to yourself to call the Lincoln Group. There is no need to have sleepless nights, anxiety, and depression about your current debt problems. Just call 800-519-5215. That's 800-519-5215. And find out if you qualify for peace of mind today. The call is free, and so is the consultation. Call today.
By land or by sea, Peggy and Stephen Rosenthal will design your dream vacation. Whether it's an adventure on the high seas, a trip to ancient ruins, or a bask in the sun experience, let them plan your next journey. Gift a dream vacation or treat yourself to a trip in 2020.
It's an uncomfortable subject that affects every community, especially during the holidays. Suicide, a special report, avoiding the stigma, and finding treatment and support starts Monday on KNWA News at 10. Now, from Fayetteville, high on the hill, this is your Pig Trail Nation Report, sponsored by Crane Automotive Team.
Hey, what's going on? We got Mike Irwin, Alyssa Orange in here as well. I'm Drew Ammon. This is the Pig Trail. We're talking about the quarterback situation for the Razorbacks. What a mess it was this season as Arkansas just capped the season as 24-14 loss to Mizzou. The Hogs had 5 different starting quarterbacks this year, and that's since October 19th alone. Ben Hicks started the first 2 games of the season. Nick Starkel took over as a starter from week 3 against Colorado State all the way through the UK game. So Starkel had 4 straight starts. Hicks getting the call to start against Auburn. They went back to Starkel at Bama. Hicks took the first Hogs snap against Mississippi State. Then Arkansas's final 3 games featured somebody starting for the first time. John Stephen Jones facing WKU. K.J. Jefferson at LSU. Jack Lindsey in the final game against Missouri.
At the end of the day, that's a reflection on the fact that we're just not a great football team right now. You know, I mean, obviously when you're struggling to win games like we have, you know, that's the markings of not a great football team. And usually that your quarterback position is, you know, suffers for that to a large degree, but also they've contributed to that as well. You know, I mean, we just had a very up and down year at that position, and that's kind of been a microcosm of our football team.
And here's that result: 14 touchdown passes, 14 picks thrown by Hog QBs, and another pick from punter Sam Loy, and that's 15 picks. So certainly a recipe for disaster, Alyssa.
Yeah, and I think at the end of the day, it's all about development, and that's something we talked about the minute Chad Morris was here. He was supposed to be this quarterback guru, this offensive mind that could develop quarterbacks, and during his tenure, we saw none of that. And I don't know if that's because Joe Craddock was the quarterback's coach, and I just don't think he was very good at developing quarterbacks. And had Morris just been solely focused on the quarterbacks and the offense and not everything else that comes with being a head coach, it might have been different. But what we saw was a lack of development, and that's how we got stuck with 5 different starters this year.
Yeah, and the question now becomes, the new head coach comes in, what does he do with these guys? Does he bring in a grad transfer? Does he look at these you know, 3 guys anyway, and say, hey, I can work with them and I can develop them. Right now, I would say looking forward doesn't look good. I would think you'd bring somebody in from the outside.
Yeah. And the thing is the lack of fit, because it's a power spread offense, a lot to process with the RPOs. Jack Lindsey, I think, did that effectively, and he could run the football as well. KJ Jefferson, more of a power runner. He's a true freshman. Lindsey's a junior. And you just look at the lack of fit. As I mentioned, you just couldn't get the right guy. I thought it was going to be Starkle, but he can't really run the ball.
Yeah, it needs to be the #1 thing on the next head coach's to-do list is to find a quarterback or figure out what he's going to do, because it starts there with this offense.
What about that, Mike, in terms of getting the right fit?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, again, they went out this year and brought in 2 guys, and they brought in 2 wrong guys. So just bringing in a guy doesn't do it. You got to get a coach that knows, and it may be a different offense, so it may be a no-brainer. These guys, you know, Jack Lindsey, I've seen enough of him. No, he can run any offense you bring in here, but I don't know about the other guys.
Yeah, had a couple touchdown passes against Mizzou, Jack Lindsey. That is your Picture All Nation report.
England Dental. Quality dentistry with compassion and care. Call us today.
We build Motor Trend's back-to-back Truck of the Year to serve the people who depend on them.
With Employee Pricing Plus all month long, competitive pickup owners purchase and get $9,876 in total values for 21% below MSRP on the 2019 Ram 1500.
Play with your one-star rewards card to unlock a galaxy of rewards at our 9 different casino locations. Rewards like Caribbean cruises, trips to Las Vegas, tickets to your favorite shows, incredible dining, total relaxation, and absolute luxury. The rewards you want are yours for the taking with your one-star.
Joe here with Sam's Furniture.
Hey, Joe, you shoot a commercial?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm Dean Kane. Sam's Furniture's 170,000 square feet gives the largest selection in Arkansas. There's over 4 million of in-stock inventory, so you can enjoy same-day delivery. And every item is tagged with Sam's everyday guaranteed lowest price, so customers get an honest, easy, and fun shopping experience.
Okay, that was my commercial, but that was really great. That was really great. You should look into acting. Arkansas's largest furniture destination. Get it at Sam's.
Senior Walk is one of our most beloved traditions at the University of Arkansas. Each year, generations of alumni visit our home on the hill to find their names on Senior Walk and share this legacy with loved ones. Senior Walk connects past, present, and future Arkansas Razorbacks. We hope you will join the Arkansas Alumni Association in celebrating Senior Walk and preserving it for generations to come.
Hi, Hunter Ellis here for Night Hero Binoculars by Atomic Beam. These binoculars let you see anything, even in pitch black darkness. Gotcha. The secrets are powerful wide-angle atomic beam laser that reveals objects up to 150 yards away, hidden by darkness. During the day, Night Hero gives you 10 times magnification. And when the sun goes down, press the Night Bright button to see clearly in the dark. Light up garbage-eating critters or spot thieves before they even get close. Call or click now and get Night Hero binoculars with laser illumination technology for just $39.99. You'll also get a protective carrying case, yours free. Order right now and you can double it. Plus, get our best-selling Atomic Beam flashlight, just pay separate fee. We'll even ship them to you free. You can get it all, but you have to order now.
Call 1-800-401-4034. That's 1-800-401-4034. Or visit bynighthero.com. That's bynighthero.com. Order now.
We build Motor Trend's back-to-back Truck of the Year to serve the people who depend on them.
With Employee Pricing Plus all month long, competitive pickup owners purchase and get $9,876 in total values for 21% below MSRP on the 2019 Ram 1500.
You're watching KNWA News at 10.
An ironic diagnosis at a young age has inspired a local teen to give back in his own way.
In tonight's Give Kids a Miracle, Chelsea Helms from our sister station Fox 24 shows us how Barrett Diebold is making it his mission to inspire hospitalized kids.
It's a diagnosis that's almost too coincidental for Barrett Diebold.
It's ironically called Barrett's esophagus.
The uncomfortable disease
I would throw up about 50 times a day.
Forced the then 3-year-old into surgery at Arkansas Children's in Little Rock.
They basically took half of my stomach and created a new esophagus.
From there, it was months of checkups with a timeline ticking on what could still lie ahead for him.
The projection was that I would have esophageal cancer and be on a feeding tube by age 15 or 16.
The now 15, almost 16-year-old beating the odds.
I'm a healthy, active 15-year-old, and I'm not in a wheelchair, I'm not on a feeding tube, and that shows me that they ultimately saved my life.
It's an outcome Barrett says is worth sharing.
And it's very difficult to see the light at the end of the tunnel, and so I think seeing someone who has had positive outcomes and very good outcomes shows you a level of hope.
The teen is an inaugural ambassador for Arkansas Children's Northwest. In addition to helping set up for the annual Color of Hope Gala to benefit ACNW, he always collects toys for the hospitalized children as part of the Festival of Stores toy drive.
Bringing joy to kids' faces that are in the hospital is something that it's truly a life-changing experience.
Turning irony into philanthropy in hopes of inspiring others to do the same.
Generosity breeds generosity, and, you know, whether you have the time, the money, or the talent, you know what I'm saying, you can find a way to give back into this community.
In Springdale, Chelsea Helms, KNWA Northwest Arkansas News.
Because of his work with ACH and ACNW, Barrett was honored earlier this month as the Outstanding Youth Fundraiser by the Association of Fundraising Professionals.
Incredible, and a great attitude through it all. You can see more stories in our Give Kids a Miracle series. You can find them right now on our website, nwahomepage.com. Could be starting out the week on a high note. Chief Meteorologist Dan Scoff back after the break with a final look at his forecast.
Watch the Pig Trail Show, Sundays at 5:30 on KNWA.
Right now, we're offering Employee Pricing Plus for everyone all month long. With Employee Pricing Plus, purchasing at $5,132 in total values for 19% below MSRP on select 2019 Jeep Cherokee models in dealer stock.
Pediatrician and active mom, Virginia McCord, new glasses and contacts were not an option for her lifestyle. That's why she chose LASIK from McDonald Eye Associates.
After LASIK, I can really just focus on my family, my patients, my activities, and don't really have to worry about my vision anymore. I trust all my physician colleagues and their opinion. They put their trust in Dr. Betts, and I did too, and I'm really glad I did.
If you're tired of glasses and contacts, you can schedule your free evaluation with McDonald Eye Associates today.
The season is here. And it's time for our best offer of the year during the Ford Black Friday event. Now, for a limited time, get 20% estimated savings on select 2019 Ford models, plus earn complimentary maintenance through Ford Pass Rewards. The Ford Black Friday event ends soon, so hurry in today. Now get 20% estimated savings on the 2019 Ford Edge, plus earn complimentary maintenance through Ford Pass Rewards. The Black Friday event ends soon.
Brock here in our new 50,000 square foot Sam's Furniture Clearance Center. If you're looking for low prices on quality furniture, you gotta check this place out. Sofas starting at $294. 5-piece dining sets, only $188. All wood 7-piece bedroom sets from $7.99. Even brand name queen pillow top mattress sets starting at just $2.99. It's our Sam's Furniture Clearance Center just next door to the Superstore in Springdale, Arkansas's largest furniture destination. Get it at Sam's.
Hey, Rebel, ready to swivel and save 15% on Row?
If you love swivel chairs, hurry to Lighting Emporium. You will save 15% on your favorite Row swivel chair. Buy in stock or special order a swivel chair your way. Hurry in. The really good swivels go fast. Right, Rebel?
Bark for Mama. Rebel, please bark, Rebel. Come on.
Joe here with Sam's Furniture.
Hey, Joe, you shoot the commercial?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm Dean Kane. Sam's Furniture's 170,000 square feet gives the largest selection in Arkansas. There's over 4 million of in-stock inventory, so you can enjoy same-day delivery. And every item is tagged with Sam's everyday guaranteed lowest price, so customers get an honest, easy, and fun shopping experience.
Okay, that was my commercial, but that was really great. That was really great. You should look into acting. Arkansas's largest furniture destination. Get it at Sam's.
Right now, we're offering Employee Pricing Plus for everyone all month long. With Employee Pricing Plus, purchase get $5,132 in total values for 19% below MSRP on select 2019 Jeep Cherokee models in dealer stock.
Welcome back, and thank you for staying late with us after the game. Hey, this week looking pretty good for December.
Yeah, not bad. 100% chance of something, though, tomorrow. The beard's coming off.
Yes, yeah. Is that in the forecast?
That is, yes.
Are you two ready? Did you enjoy growing out the beard and you're ready to get it?
Yeah. It took a while to get used to like feeling it on my face. Now it's gonna take. Now I'm gonna have to get used to it not being
like
there, you know?
baby soft.
Yeah,
like
I'm
looking.
gonna go rub it, and it's gonna be
20
like,
years younger.
It'll be colder.
Yeah, it will be. It will be. But thankfully, it's warming up though. So the temperatures are climbing. As Jennifer mentioned, we've got a great week ahead. Just a little bit of rain coming Thursday night into Friday morning. Weekend looks good. There might be some rain coming by the end of the weekend. We'll watch that. You know what? We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Let's just enjoy lighter winds tomorrow. That'll be nice.
Good, yes.
And temperatures warm. But it will still be chilly and breezy in the morning. So be aware, wind chills in the teens to start off the morning.
Yeah, those lows are still down there.
Yeah, they are.
All right, thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Good night.